Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Jason Freeman. I'd like to welcome you all to my channel. In this video, I review the film Rye Lane, directed by Raine Allen-Miller and starring David Jonsson and Vivian Oparah. I tell you what I like about the film, I tell you what I don't like about the film, then I tell you why I think you should see the film or just skip it. Now at any point, feel free to click the notification bell or subscribe to my channel to get more content. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, Rye Lane is a British romantic comedy set in the South London neighborhoods of Peckham and Brixton. Now, the film is also set in South Bank, and I had the pleasure of visiting all those places when I went to England back in January of this year. Actually, before I go any further, so Rye Lane premieres this Friday, March 31st on Hulu in the United States. Now, the film follows two young Afro-Caribbean people, Yaz and Dom, as, not to give anything away about the film, as they kind of go through a day dealing with their respective breakups. So what did I like about the film? Well, first off, I really loved Dom and Yaz. And so the thing about a film like this, where you're following two people over a day, is on some level you have to want to be with them. You have to want to hang out for a bit. And I very much enjoyed watching these two people. They had amazing chemistry. They're very likable. And in many ways, I was rooting for them. And the average viewer would be rooting for them. Another thing I liked about the film was how it was shot. In many ways, the settings of the film were characters in and of themselves. So as they went from place to place, it was very vibrant, very beautiful. Having been to those places myself, you got the feel for Brixton, you got the feel of Peckham. Again, just kind of going around, you really got to know the area. With that, you had some very colorful characters. You can see some of them in the trailer, but there were all these really interesting, colorful characters all around that really added to the life of the film. And you very much enjoyed kind of just experiencing being on this journey. And lastly, like a lot of films, I would say, with the whole Afro-Caribbean, Black British tradition, music very much is a big part of this film. I think about Boxing Day, another romantic comedy that, similar to this film, had a mainly Afro-Caribbean cast and focused on Afro-Caribbean life. Music very much infused the energy of the film, even contributing to the comedy. The Tribe Called Quest. A Tribe Called Quest was kind of a big feature in the plot of the film as well. But you hear music throughout. And just as you're going through the film, along with the vibrant colors, the interesting, people around them, the really good couple that you're following, the music really just set the tone and added to the story. I'll add one other thing. And this is kind of where, I'm kind of on the fence and where, I'm going to start talking about the stuff that I didn't like about the film. The comedy in fits and spurts were good. I laughed. There was one scene. So just like with, again, going to Boxing Day, which is, again, kind of the most similar film that I reviewed to this film, the Afro-Caribbean family that you get to hang out with, though in this film is a little bit different because it's not any one of the main characters' families. But the point is, you get with this family, and it's very funny. They're a very funny lot. So it's not just, again, the main characters. And when you get to this family, all the people have some little comedic aspect to it. So it's fun. It's really, you enjoy being there. That's the thing. Like, there's some awkwardness, and that's part of the comedy itself. But a big part of it, you get to know this family, you get to see this family, and they're just they're cool people. So what didn't I like? So one of the main things I didn't like was there was a lot of toilet humor, and I mean a lot. And so if I was going to recommend this film to someone, I would have to give them the warning that you have to, on some level, like some bit of toilet humor. Literally, the beginning of the film is shot in a toilet. And they keep going back to the toilet, with various scenes and various jokes. And it's like, whoever wrote this, I can see, hold up, one second. Nathan Bryan and Tom Malia. Those guys really like toilet humor, and they took it a little bit too far. Again, and it sucks in that I like the film overall. I'm gonna tell you, see it or skip it. But I like the film overall. But it kept going back to it. So again, if I was recommending this film to somebody, it's like, be ready for the toilet humor. Like, if you don't like toilet humor at all, leave it alone. But if you can deal with it, if you can tolerate it, I would say watch the film. But we haven't got to that final part yet. Another thing that annoyed me a bit, and it was kind of going back and forth, is it jumps around a lot. So it's not like a straight linear film. They have a lot of flashbacks. And so in the film, you're going along with the story, and then they go back and tell a different story. And then you're going back and you jump to this other part. And so you're all over the place. And even with the cutscenes, you're locked in, and then all of a sudden it's this whole different cutscene, and it kind of throws you off a bit. And so I think there was too much of that. It was all over the place at various points. And so if you're expecting a very straightforward, coherent story, similar to what I would say with Medicine for Melancholy, which I when I saw the trailer, I compared those, but very different tones. This is much more comedic than Medicine for Melancholy. And so with that, that's more of a straight linear story. And this one is just boom, 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 all over the place. And that it can be a little bit jarring for some viewers. So you see this film or just skip it. And I would say see it. It's, again, to me, and I just literally just watched the film. The toilet humor was just annoying, but it wasn't a deal killer. And this also, I don't know, it's more of a differences in, I say, British versus American sensibility. So nudity, so different forms of nudity, I think are much more accepted in British films and media. More so than in American media. It's not that we don't have nudity in our media. It's just so in this kind of just typical rom-com, like imagine, I don't know, was it 50 Dresses? My wife's more in the rom-coms, but you think about some of these different failure to launch or whatever rom-coms out there. You don't have scrotums and anuses. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. So watch the film if you're cool with that stuff, and I am. I mean, I don't care. But the point is, again, I get annoyed with toilet humor, but it's not something that's gonna get me not to watch the film. So I would say see it. Just go into it. It's not like a family film. Let me put it that way. And it's weird. The two main characters, it's not like really like a hardcore sex scene or anything. It's just there's all these little things around it that makes it, I would say, very inappropriate for anyone like a child to watch. And again, I think it's one of those American sensibility things. And I think a lot of y'all watching this are Americans. Not everybody, obviously, but a lot of y'all. And so, again, it's a very different thing. I like British movies. I like British shows and things like that. So I'm cool with this. And I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the film. I'm an old guy, and it's definitely about young people. And again, you have to be not the kind of crotchety old guy that really, or old person that don't like all the young people. If you don't like young people or that at all, then don't watch this. But everybody else, it's a funny film. It's a good film. It's a sweet film. It's a sweet, nice, romantic comedy. It just happens to be about Black people. And I want to see more of that, more, Black love and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, I like the film, and I definitely would recommend y'all watch it. Now, if you found this review interesting and or informative, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Also, please share this video. And if there are other films like rom-coms or anything about Black culture or any of those type of films that you want me to review, please leave those suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you all for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day.